Introduced are set down for first reading. The House now comes to questions for oral answer, and the first question stands in the name of the Leader of the Opposition.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To the Prime Minister, does he stand by all his recent statements?
The Honourable Bill English on behalf of the Prime Minister.
On behalf of the Prime Minister, yes.
The Leader of the Opposition.
Does he stand by his statement that people shouldn't be hung up on the fact that teachers without qualifications will be able to teach New Zealand children at charter schools?
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr. Speaker, yes.
The Leader of the Opposition.
Does he also stand by his statement, quote, "It's not the class sizes that matter, it's the quality of teaching that we're getting in our schools"? And how can he guarantee quality of teachers when teachers won't actually need to be qualified?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr. Speaker, as the member knows, the issue of whether teachers are qualified has been discussed in the context of charter schools, which will offer an element of choice, although a very small element of choice in the general school system. All other schools will continue to run with registered teachers.
The Leader of the Opposition.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. When he said after his U-turn on class sizes, quote, "We will have to find another way to go to lift those teacher quality outcomes, and we'll go away and do that," was having teachers without qualifications what he had in mind?
The Honourable Bill English.
With respect to the state-run schools, no, Mr. Speaker. With respect to the charter schools, it's an aspect of providing choices for young New Zealanders that are not currently available to them.
The Leader of the Opposition.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Did he read the advice from the Ministry of Education on charter schools, which said that, quote, "There is the challenge of ensuring that students are not put at risk by mentors who are not necessarily subject to professional licensing"? And if so, why is he putting students at risk?
The Honourable Bill English.
Well, Mr. Speaker, young New Zealanders are, in those terms, working often with adults who aren't their parents but are not subject to professional registration in the school system all the time. They go to music classes, they go to sports. Well, in fact, they go to sports teams. They spend a material part of their day with people who are not registered teachers, who I might say, in my experience, do a very fine job of inspiring and motivating our young people.
The Right Honourable Winston Peters.
Standing by his statements, why is the Prime Minister maintaining that the first he knew of Kim.com's name was the day before the police raid on Mr. .com's mansion, when that mansion and Mr. .com were in his own electorate? Mr. .com's staff had long ago visited the Prime Minister's electorate clinic, making the Prime Minister possibly the only person in that electorate who had not heard of Mr. .com.
The Honourable Bill English.
Mr. Speaker, I don't know which statement the member is referring to.
Question. Point of order, the Right Honourable Winston Peters.
Speaker, with respect, this was a question about the Prime Minister standing by his statements. If the Deputy Prime Minister does not know the Prime Minister had made statements about Kim.com, then I'm absolutely astonished.
Order. Order. That may well be the case, but the Minister answered the question. He said he wasn't aware of those statements, and that's an answer to the question, and that's the... Well, I'm still on my feet. The point of order, the Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Mr. Speaker, sorry, I was caught by your dipping yet again. Mr. Speaker, the point that I'd like to make is that the Deputy Prime Minister was answering on behalf of the Prime Minister, and if he's saying that the Prime Minister doesn't remember making the statement, then that would be appropriate. But as the acting Prime Minister, I think he should probably differentiate himself from the Prime Minister when he's answering in that way.
I think the member's point of order is well made, that a minister answering on behalf of another minister, including the Prime Minister, is answering on their behalf, and the answer does indicate what the minister to whom the question is put, in this case the Prime Minister, would have said, unless the minister answering indicates they're not in a position to know that information. Now, the minister answering the question may wish to clarify whether he, as the Deputy Prime Minister answering on behalf of the Prime Minister, wasn't aware of those such statements, or whether answering on behalf of the Prime Minister wasn't aware of such statements. The Minister may wish to clarify that. The Honourable Bill English.
Speaker, on behalf of the Prime Minister, I don't know what statements the member is referring to.
I thank the Minister. The Right Honourable Winston Peters.
Supplementary question. How can he...
Order. Order. I've called the Right Honourable Winston Peters.
How can the Prime Minister stand by that statement, given the revelation in court that the FBI had been monitoring Mr. .com for 2 years prior to the raid on his mansion in the Prime Minister's electorate, and that the Prime Minister is the Minister in charge of the New Zealand Security Service?
The Honourable Bill English.
Oh, Mr. Speaker, I do stand by the statement.
Question number 2, the Honourable Tau Hanarei.
Speaker, my question is to the Minister of Finance and asks what reports